G'day guys, we are back with another build video. Today we're going to be showing the full healing cleric build for SHADOWHEART. This build will allow you to heal pretty much through anything and stay alive through anything while keeping the party alive as well, with very large heals thanks to our Illithid powers. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to go over... We're going to go over the build as if you were leveling from level 1. I'm going to go over each cantrip and spell as well as the domain. So we're going to be moving away from the trickery domain and going over to the life domain. This is a build I've come up with after following through the good path for SHADOWHEART, so it even fits thematically. Alright, our cantrips are Resistance, Guidance, and Sacred Flame. Pretty easy stuff. Abilities, we are going to want 14 in strength so we can do some decent damage with our mace. Max Constitution as high as we can get it, and Wisdom is our primary with the +2, so 17, 16, 14. 10 dexterity because, well, we don't want to have negatives on dex saving throws. We will continue on and we will go through the levels. Level 2, not too much you need to do. You get your first life domain action, which is Preserve Life, a very good healing spell. Onto our prepared spells. You want to do a little bit of damage early on, so I would suggest going Guiding Bolt. Protection of Good and Evil is always good to have. Sanctuary is amazing for keeping those friendlies alive that have taken too much damage or is downed and needs to heal back up. Command, an incredibly useful spell for disabling heavy hitting targets. You can command them to drop their weapon, for example. And of course, Healing Word, which is our first level healing spell. Next on, we just keep going with Prayer of Healing. Nothing too much special there. Level 4, we get our first Fate. We're going to add Light as our cantrip because Light becomes incredibly important during the second act. So very useful spell to have, and it keeps its use all the way till the end of the game. Prepared spells, we got Hold Person. I'll just get rid of Hold Person and we're going to go Warding Bond. And Warding Bond is an amazing ability, but it also makes you take damage when the person you're warding takes damage, which is the reason why we're going as high HP as possible. There is another reason, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Following on with the HP build, we're going to go ahead and get Tough as our first trait, so we can take advantage of the large HP pool. And Guidance. Warding, rather. Alright, we get additional damage on a turn undead, which is awesome. And we get some free healing spells. We're going to have Mass Healing in our next slot, ignoring the other items for now. For now, this is still early game, remember, so you should still be in Act 1. Moving on to level 6. This is a pure cleric build, and there is very special spells that I'll be showing you. And is the reason why we're going pure cleric. Blessed Healer at level 6, healing others heals you as well, which is incredibly amazing. Because if you do pop a heal on yourself as well as others, or do a wide mass heal, you get double healing. Brings you that large HP pool that you use to protect your allies back up. All right, we're going to get rid of daylight. This one's kind of up to you. Daylight does come in handy in Act 2, but we're going to go with Glyph of Warding. Incredibly useful spell to that does multiple forms of damage, fire, ice, things like that. Very useful and a kind of a large AoE. Nothing too much going on at level 7. We get a couple of more spells. I'm not going to change anything. We will leave Remove Curse there just because it is useful. Moving on to level 8. We should have another feat. Our next feat, we're going into ability straight away. We will get that one up. We'll get that up to 19. And accept. Alright, removing planar binding and contagion. We will leave light in there. But we only really want one level 5 skill. And I am going to go and choose the Flame Strike because it is incredibly useful. Now you notice we have an extra slot there. So we are going to, if I can find it, Spirit Guardian, right there. We're going to want a Spirit Guardian up when we're not using our concentration on warding. So if we're not warding and we're smack banging in the middle of some enemies, we want to pot Spirit Guardian to deal large amounts of AoE damage to those enemies, and this can be scaled up to a level 5 spell, which is handy. Moving on to the next level. We gain our really final cantrip. You can choose whatever you want. I just go with Reduce Flame. Removing Contagion, we're going to go with another support ability, so Calm Emotions. Gets rid of Frightened, which is super handy. There are other utility spells here that you could use. For example, Enhanced Ability. This is all up to you, really. Moving on. This is the big level, and the reason why we go pure cleric. Getting rid of Create Undead. This spell right here, Heroes Based. You and everyone around can't be poisoned, diseased, or frightened. Your HP is increased, and you make wisdom saves with advantage. Absolutely amazing to buff the entire party. There is, apart from it using a level 6 spell slot, it's one of the best support spells in the game. And our final level of Cleric. We're going to get rid of Create Undead. We only really have one. We want to keep the spell slots available for these. So we want to go... Let's see, where is it? Oh, where is it? I'm blind. Yes, I'm 100% blind. You'll want the Guardian spell where you pop down a Guardian and it does AoE damage to anything in that circle. Cannot remember what it's called, and I cannot find it. We will have a look outside when we're prepping spells, but let's go ahead and grab Shield of Faith for the time being. Our last little improvement. We're going to go Cleric. Oh, we can get items that increase our wisdom. I would suggest doing that over using a feed. Unfortunately, I don't have one. But the last one we should be going is Cleric. To add more spells. And that is it for that. So let's have a look at our prepared spells. See if I can find that ability. What eludes me? I think it's already there. We just get it by default, I believe. Around there somewhere. But we do have an additional spell slot. You can pop in whatever you want. I mean, a level 6 heal would be good if you can get the additional wisdom. Now, moving over to the Illithid powers. Obviously, you want the base one. But this is the big one here, the big heal. You want to go these 3 paths. Everything else, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you want, really. But these 3 here, very important. Obviously, you need this to start off with. This one here, transfer health. Sacrifice half of your remaining hit points to heal a target for the same amount. This is absolutely massive. If a teammate gets downed, and you're at full HP, which you should be with this build at all times, you can send 50% of your HP to that ally, which should bring them up to maybe 60-70% of their total HP, getting them back into the fight and in good shape. And on top of that, you can also throw a shield of thralls over the top of them, granting them hit points, which is an additional protection on anything that needs it. This build essentially becomes like crazy healer. Most of the time, she will have the highest amount of hit points out of my party. Just because everyone else has died. Everyone else is taking damage while she's just consistently healing, consistently keeping enemies on fire with her flame strike or her glyph. But when she's not dealing damage, she's healing with all these healing spells. Now let's have a look at the items really quickly. Most of these are not ideal, unfortunately. The weapon and the weapons are perfect, however. So you want the Blood of Lathander. Obviously, the best healing mace in the game. You're going to want to get this as soon as you can from the Gaith Craish? The Gaith Craish. Get it from there. Victoria's Walking Fortress, the best shield in the game. You're going to want to get that. I'm going to put a link to the wiki down below just so you can search these items up. Absolutely amazing shield. You can apply a reflective shell upon yourself. So if you're going to take damage, it'll just reflect back at the enemy. Along with the Rebuke of the Mighty, which is a force knockdown when you get attacked. Now, we are not proficient in this weapon, the Gunter Mail. However, its ability, Celestial Haste, can be cast once per long rest. So think of this as an additional spell that you can cast whenever you want, once per long rest, completely ignoring the bow itself. This will give any ally haste for 5 turns. Now that's half of the normal haste, however, it is essentially a free haste on a character that doesn't cast haste. Armor-wise, this is probably one of the more important ones. Reviving Hands. Aegis Palm. When you heal a creature, it gains an effect of Blade Ward. When you revive a creature, it gains the effect of Death Ward. Two very lovely buffs that I normally wouldn't apply myself, and they're just free cast every time I do a heal, which is incredible when you do mass healing word, so everyone gets a Blade Ward. Other things don't really matter too much. I just chucked on some plate armor. We got just whatever helmet is good. I used the Vicious Cloak to allow us to gain 7 hit points per casting a spell while in melee. You're going to be in melee most of the time. And the Amulet of Restoration, which just gives us 2 more spells that we can use whenever we want. That is about it. The gear's not too crazy. It's more about what spells you choose and how you go about it. So straight up, we have a 60 HP heal right there, just from our base HP, which we can get up incredibly fast with all of our spells. So that's it. That's the build. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're still around, thank you very much. Pop a like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Enjoy yourselves, guys.